Alright, welcome back everyone. I'm Setharoth, and today we are diving into a special mod that was requested a while back. This mod is another needs mod, which is why I haven't gotten back to it until this point, because I was already using iNeeds, and I didn't want to install and set up an entirely new needs-based mod if I already had one working. However, since I'm on the Lost Legacy mod list right now, they are already using Sun Helm. So this is the needs mod that was requested. It feels like a more advanced version of iNeeds in that it includes a lot of new bells and whistles. One of the more unique ones though is, I'll show you guys the cool stuff first, because I mean obviously your needs mod is going to track, fatigue, hunger, thirst. But this little bad boy actually has a plugin for the campfire mod. We're going to switch into first person view so you can get a look at it. You remember the campfire mod comes with its own skill trees, which you access through the campfire. But with Sun Helm, you can, voila, get your own custom skill tree based on your needs. So our first one, let me make sure I'm on the right tag here. Alright, so the first perk that you can get here is Unyielding. The more you gain experience in survival, the more you can unlock these perks. So I've already unlocked the first rank, which is an increase of 50 points of carry weight. The second rank will get me 100 points of extra carry weight. Yes, please. In Skyrim, you always feel like whatever character you're running, be it a thief or a mage or a melee guy, I feel like I'm always running out of room because I loot everything. It's almost as bad as Fallout 4 when you need all the salvage. Anyway, there are 4 trees to this skill tree, as you can see. We're going to start with one on the right, the Connoisseur skill tree. Enhances the benefits that you get from eating. So this makes you not have to eat as often because your food is more effective. And then once you unlock that, the next version of that is Conviviality, which boosts your stamina regeneration while you're well fed. So it kind of rewards you for taking care of your needs and constantly keeping track or keeping yourself good and full. We also have Thermal Intensity. This is getting into the other side of Sun Helm, why it's an interesting mod, because they've actually put in some cold weather tolerance as well as your standard needs. So you get kind of, in this case, you could use it in the place of Frostbite or Frostfall. It's much more subtler in the way that it tracks temperature than the other two. Like Frostfall will just, you can just die of hypothermia and immediately be shunted to the nearby inn or whatnot. But this is much subtler. It debuffs you the colder you get. But if you get this perk, heat sources will warm you faster, so you don't have to spend as much time around a campfire in order to get back up to safe temperature. You can also get ambient warmth, which further boosts the speed at which warm temperatures will be of benefit. Then we have next Slumber. This rewards you more for sleeping because it restores additional exhaustion. So when you're really exhausted and tired, you need sleep. You don't have to sleep as much in order to benefit and get rid of your... you won't have to sleep as much to recover. Next, also, while you are well rested from the second rank here, you can boost your Magicka regeneration as well. As long as you're using any kind of spells, that is beneficial. Last, we have Hydrated. Obviously, the last one in the list that's missing, Drinking, will restore 10% more thirst when you get a drink. And then with Reservoir, your stamina, base stamina, is increased when your thirst is quenched. So that's just kind of one of the new interesting features from Sun Helm. Raining is not exactly the best. It's kind of drizzly here. We're going to go ahead and fast travel to Whiterun and see if we can trigger. There's some icons that pop up when you're at certain levels of need, which are helpful, which hopefully I will be able to show you once I become thirsty, hungry, and tired. Alright, Sun Helm is up and running. We can tell because we have the icons on the right-hand side of the screen. As you can tell on the bottom right, we have a green food icon, a green bottle icon, and the ever popular Z's for when you're sleeping. You'll also notice in the top right, this is another addition to Sun Helm. It marks the season that you're currently in based on what month you're in, and then based on that season, you have additional environmental, I don't know if debuffs is the right word, but so for example, I am currently cold, Oh, I'm actually warm. My rank of coldness is warm, so my health regenerates faster. Let's see. I still have fortifying warmth from the... Oh, actually, that's a little Mothit buff. Wow, that's a custom race feature that is interacting with Sun Helm. That has to be a patch, but that's a really nice patch. That's cool. That's cool. I approve. A custom race that is modded to interact with your needs mods. That's awesome. Hunger, I am well fed. That gives me extra stamina. Oh, this is a cool little Sun Helm perk. For little Mothits, I can eat raw meat without risk of disease, which, by the way, yes, Sun Helm also adds in diseases. More diseases, better diseases, which is kind of counterintuitive. Why would you want better diseases? The answer is for immersion, of course. Also, you get a buff for your thirst being quenched. Alright, so I don't see a current debuff for the fact we're in winter, as marked by the giant snowflake in the upper right corner. But I was just standing next to a giant campfire, so I think I'm actually benefiting from some delayed warmth effects, which would explain that. Next, we're going to hop over to the MCM for Sun Helm. We can walk you through some of the features here. There is a lot of customization and user control for Sun Helm, which is really nice. You can adjust this however you want. So let's go ahead and play some eating and drinking animations. You know what? We'll have some raw dog meat, because I can do that, because I'm a little Mothit. Oh, that's a good chunk of raw meat. There we go. And you know what? We might as well show you guys there's another animation when you're refilling your bottles. So with the challenge when you're dealing with a 1600 mod list is knowing exactly which patches are all interacted to do what. So for example, there is a quirk here when I reload these bottles. It doesn't just load my water skin, it's actually going to load some empty bottles that I have in my inventory. I'm 90% sure that's just a baked-in function of Sun Helm, but it might come from a patch. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just trying to make sure I don't sign any checks that I can't cash. But as you can see, we also have a water filling animation. It took some empty bottles that I had left over after drinking some Nord mead. Now, that's kind of another immersive thing. Like if you drink some mead, you'll have an empty bottle afterwards that will then go into your miscellaneous inventory, and you can fill it with water and a number of other things. So that's kind of a cool little feature. I was quite pleased when I found that. We're going to get a little far over here and get away from the devoted priest of Talos stealing my thunder. I think we will... Oh, actually, this looks pretty cool. This is not a bad spot to camp out. I like the lighting here. That's awesome. I love modded Skyrim. It's so cool. Alright, back to business. So next we are going to wait another 6 hours and see what kind of debuffs pop up. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like I'm running out of fatigue first. Let's see what kind of a debuff we're looking at there. Okay, I don't see a debuff at the moment, so it might be that when you're in gray, you're kind of in middle ground. You're not super full, but you're also not crazy empty of whatever resource that might be. Let's skip ahead another 6 hours and see where we're at. There we go. Okay, so all right, we're not hungry yet, but we are definitely thirsty. That's why you've got the yellow bottle. Let's see what kind of... There we go. All right, our first debuff. When you are just thirsty, stamina and magic are decreased by 10. That's fairly forgiving. I mean, the odds of that getting you killed are fairly slim. Now we are hungry. Let's have a look. I am peckish, which reduces stamina regeneration by 10%. Okay. You know what? I should probably save now. I don't know if you can actually... I don't know if Sun Helm is designed right now in the settings to kill me if I get too hungry. I'm trying to drive all of these needs down to like their worst condition possible so you can see what the debuffs are like when it's nasty. Oh, here we go. All right, your exhaustion is increasing. Letting your exhaustion increase will cause you to endure more debuffs to magic regeneration and skill rate. Okay, that... Oh, okay. As kind of a power gamer myself, that would hurt. It's so funny because I'll see like, oh, 10 points minus health, 10% less regeneration. I could power through that. You won't learn fast. Oh, I'll be stuck at like level 10 for an extra like 10% of time? No, that is not acceptable. I will definitely be sleeping before that buff kicks in. Continuing to mismanage your exhaustion will eventually cause you damage over time. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Alright, so just to make sure we're doing okay here, I'm going to turn off... Let's see, I don't have God mode. Let's go Immortal mode just to make sure I don't accidentally kill myself. Well, technically I'd be starving myself. All for your guys' enjoyment. Please don't ever say I did nothing for you. Alright, let's see. Can these go red? I'm wondering if I just go farther. Oh, we didn't see the debuff for not getting enough sleep. Slightly tired. Magicka regenerates 10% slower. Okay, so 10% stamina regeneration, 25% slower from hungry. Melee attacks are 10% less effective. Okay, this is... I like this. I like that they're passive debuffs, and they start off mild enough that you wouldn't necessarily notice if you were in the middle of a dungeon and these just suddenly clicked on. Oh, now we're getting into the good stuff. Okay, we are dehydrated. We are in the red on water. Stamina and magic are decreased by 50. Okay, now we're talking. That's gonna get your attention. Oh, that's cool. Shout cooldown lasts 25% longer. That is so immersive because you're thirsty. Your throat's dry. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's push the envelope here and see if this kills me. It's a good thing I already got. I have resources here. Okay. Nothing's changed in the next 6 hours. I'm just still tired. Let's do another 6. See where we're at. Okay. Now we are ravenous. It's Thanksgiving all over again. When you are ravenous, your stamina regeneration is 50% lower. Melee attacks are 25% less effective. Cool. Okay. Yeah, now it's starting to get to the point where you have to... You cannot ignore it any longer. If we can push this a little farther, I want to see what the main debuff is when you haven't had enough sleep. Come on, my character's been up for like 3 days. I'm pretty sure it's 3 days. At least a day and a half. I've been doing 6-hour intervals. There we go. Oh, Lydia gave me. She's watching me sit here and literally starve myself to death for no reason, and her response is to give me jewelry. Okay. Our exhaustion level is weary. Magicka regenerates 50% slower, and skills increase 25% slower. So getting enough sleep, for me as a player, would be a higher priority because I love Magicka, but also I want my skills to level up fast. I do not want to do more work to get the same amount of skill increase. Although, let's face it, 50%. Okay. There's worse. I thought it was like it changed color and then there was one bad. But no, there's another bad. There's a whole other level of bad under the bad that we were at before for thirst. Stamina and magic are decreased by 100 points. Shout cooldown lasts 50% longer. Okay. And then Ravenous is still at 50%. Okay. Let's just go a full 24. I may just fall over dead after this. I don't know. I mean, technically, I'm in immortal mode, so anyone want a faster 40 days in the wilderness? Let's see. Okay, this should kick everything into, oh, holy crapdom. There we go. Hunger is now starving. So this should show me the worst of the debuffs. Okay, stamina regeneration 100% less, 100% slower, and melee attacks are 50% less effective. Okay. I think that is enough torturing of myself for the day. As you can see, this is kind of a fun little trick with with Sun Helm. You can actually go to the general settings. No, need settings. There we go. So this is the rate at which you get hungry, right? There's a certain, you can adjust the amount of hunger that you accumulate over time. Right now it's set to 5. But if you wanted to get hungry faster so that you have to eat more often, or if you wanted to just have to eat once a week, you would just adjust this to whatever rate best suited your God mode or your personal masochism, whatever your choice may be. But we're going to go ahead and take care of these needs. Let's see what this takes. So 1 bottle of water, some crab meat, some dog meat. I'm just curious how much gorging I'm going to have to do to fix this. A lot of gorging. Okay, that's immersive. Mud crab legs, sweet roll, more water. Just giving you guys an idea of how much food you would have to consume in order to get caught up if you are completely in the red. Yeah. So the default settings seem completely reasonable to me. With I need settings as they come out of the box with the mod that I usually use in my load order, it can feel a little fast, like you're eating every other dungeon that you go into for fear of starvation, which seems a little much. We're going to go ahead and grab a bed for the night so that we can get rid of the angry red Z's telling me that I am horribly abusing my player / character / myself. I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, like an hour and a half the whole night. Good times. It's kind of funny. I used to work night shift as a CNA back in the day, and I had a date with the woman that eventually would become my wife, and I didn't want to disappoint her because we were looking forward to the date. So I decided, with having gone 30 hours without sleep, that I would just drive all the way up to her town, which is about 45 minutes north of the freeway. And I remember being about halfway there on a straightaway and wondering why the road was bending when I could have sworn that... Okay, that's the wrong door. When I could have sworn that the road was supposed to be straight right there. Long story short, by the time I got there, I was so exhausted. I crashed. I just slept there for half the night. It wasn't exactly the most eventful of dates that I've ever been on. Where is my room? I paid good money. All right, let's try 12 hours and see if that gets me up into the green. Ah, yes, that's another mod from this mod list. When you level up when you sleep, rather than in the middle of combat, suddenly magically healing and regenerating all of your attributes. All right, there we go. So I did notice that it is a bit more forgiving when you're doing the needs for sleep. Like 12 hours was enough to fix me from being almost dead. But it did take a lot more water and food to fix that. So it's so funny when you get to sleep for like 12 hours and the NPCs are still around you. It's like they're just standing there staring like, Battleborn.
Got something to say?
Dragonborn. Yes, the thing I have to say is please get out of my way. I do not want to start a giant brawl and have guards attacking me. I just want to go out where I can continue this demonstration. Alright, so I think that takes care of the fancy, the stuff that's pretty, the animations, the debuffs. I think we'll wrap up by looking at some of the settings in the MCM, just to give you guys an idea of how much you can customize this thing for your particular proclivities. And then we'll see where we're at. Alright, so our general settings, you can turn off animations depending on the kind of load order you're running, and when you're debugging stuff yourself, sometimes you can run into issues. So if you're crashing for no apparent reason after you install this mod, one thing you can do if you're having trouble tracking down the cause is go through and turn off all the quote-unquote fancy stuff, right? So you could turn off the animations, for example, and then run it again and see if it works just fine as is. And that would actually help you to identify, if you disable animations and then run it and it's fine, whereas if you run an animation and immediately kicks you out, then you have a conflict. Not in this mod, so not a problem directly in this mod, but it would be conflicting with other animation mods that you have in your load order. So a couple other things that you can toggle off. You can make it so you don't get empty bottles back when you're drinking. You can make it so that your water skin is actually visibly equipped on your character, which I really like. I think that's very immersive to have a water skin on your belt or something. We can disable fast travel. You can be cannibalistic if you'd like. Raw meat damage, which my little Molfit seems to avoid. Toggle carry weight penalty added by Sun Helm. Okay, so that's okay. There's a. I wonder if that has to do with some of the debuffs. Anyway, innkeeper dialogue. Okay, so this also adds in a dialogue point for the innkeeper, where for 20 gold you can get what's called a full meal, where it just automatically fills up your thirst and your hunger. So it's kind of faster than trying to buy food and then eat it separately. You can just do a click and get it all caught up. Display and notifications. I'm fine with leaving the tutorials up because, let's face it, I'm still learning. We have a number of notifications that you can disable whenever you want. Continuance messages you can also disable. I'm not sure what that is, I assume, let's see, enabling this will show the need stage as well as percent value. Okay, so that gives you more detail. Rather than just saying, you are hungry, it'd be like, you're at 75% hunger, which I guess would be good if you're modding, but obviously from an immersive standpoint, it's like there's a percent sign in the middle of my medieval kingdom. Let's see, so the widgets, you can adjust those like where they're at, what direction, what angle they're at, what color they are. You can do all sorts of stuff there to make things as immersive or personalized as you want. These are some neat features. So you can make it so that hunger and thirst doesn't hurt you, which obvious reasons would be helpful. You can make it so that when you're in another plane of existence, or you're in combat or in dialogue, all of your needs pause. So that way you don't have like accidentally click off the crippling debuff that removes 150 of your health in the middle of a fight. That would not be good. You also have some tweaks you can do for vampires and werewolves, and I believe there's something in here for liches somewhere as well. Also, here's stuff for cold. So they have the widget. You have cold effects if you go somewhere cold, seasons, monthly variation in temperature. So I think what that does is it tweaks the background temperature, which would then adjust how often you need to get to a campfire to reduce your cold rating. Which again, I think is perfectly immersive. Then we have the survival skill tree. You actually have an option here to, as you unlock perks in the skill tree, if you decide, you put them all towards food, and then you decided you want to take those back and instead put them towards sleep because it gives you bonuses to magicka, you could just click that button, it would reset your skill points, and you just reassign them this way. Lastly, it has the option of profiles, so you can basically save all of these settings under a profile, and then when you start a new character, you can just point, click, load, you're good to go. Alright, I think that's just about everything that this mod has to offer. Why don't we go ahead and fast travel to somewhere really cold and see if we can trigger one of those little notices real quick. I want to see what the notification looks like when you're suddenly cold. Alright, where can we go if we want to get really cold? Well, first we're going to need our illustrious driver, because I haven't been here before.
Vampire hunters.
This is kind of funny. This is where you start paying for immersion, when the AI is smart enough to not sit on the carriage in the middle of the night and instead goes somewhere to sleep.
Where do you want to go?
Let's go Dawnstar. We're going to go for a swim. That'll take care of our cold rating real quick, I'm sure.
Couldn't ask for better weather.
So last thing I'll do for you guys is attempt to freeze myself into a little canine popsicle. And then we'll see what those debuffs are like. Because I remember in one of my earliest videos when I started doing Skyrim mods, I did Frostfall, and I just like sat in a lake until I died. Although at that time I had adjusted the settings so that instead you spawned in a random nearby inn. So as if someone found you half dead and dropped you off somewhere. Which was still pleasantly immersive. I think it was a setting though. If you're running Frostfall, I think you can actually set it so that if you get up there too cold, you will die. It's just tricky because when you're that cold, it actually slowed your movement speed as well. So the moment in which you realized you were in trouble, you lost most of your movement that you would need to get out of trouble. It's very fun. Alrighty, we're about to go for a lovely little swim. Oh, and there's angry fish here too. Alright, what kind of back to business here? How cold am I? Cold. I'm cold. My cold rating is cold. Health regenerates slower, and your movement speed is 10% slower. Okay, that works. Like, your movement speed is reduced, but you're not, dead. Alright, God mode is disabled, just in case that affects my cold rating. And then my immortal mode is on in case in case cold affects me too much. We're just going to go for a bit of a swim. And then I guess I will try and I probably shouldn't have gone this far out where I find angry things that want to eat me. I need to find a safe place to wait. We will wait in the cold and see how bad this gets. Oh yeah, I can see the reduced movement speed already. That's fun. Yes, Lydia, you can handle them. Cannot wait while enemies are nearby. Wow, that is the fastest my little frozen body can sprint. So, still want to make sure you're careful about swimming in the cold and not having a source of heat. Am I far enough away from these things? Yes. Okay. Let's try give it 6 hours and see where my coldness runs off to. Everything is still angry at me. All right. Are we still cold for cold? Oh, we're freezing now. Now we're at the good stuff. Health regeneration 50% slower. Disease resistance minus 25%. Oh, okay. So, whoa, that's an interesting... Yeah, so it will punish you if you stay cold for too long because you'll contract diseases. Nice. Yeah, that's another feature in the mod, is it adds in diseases. Although I didn't see a lot of settings for them in the MCM, I do know that it does bring in some nasty diseases. And 25% colder. That is just the icing on the cake. Let me see. I hesitate to try and get wet again, but I'm trying to see if there's anything past freezing. And if I can wait while swimming, cannot wait at this location. How about now? There we go. Let's give it a full 24 hours. I don't care if I'm hungry again. Let's see just how bad the cold can get. Oh, and it's raining. Perfect. And I'm wearing metal. Even better. I could not ask to freeze any faster. Okay. It looks like freezing is the worst debuff you can get for cold. Good to know. And I think that will do it for our demonstration. Let me just get out of the water. Oh, Lydia is just randomly attacking a bunch of workers. Okay, Lydia, have fun. Cool. All right, well, I have starved myself for you guys, dehydrated myself for you guys, exhausted myself for you guys, and frozen myself for you guys. I hope you appreciate the many sacrifices of this canine character. Please feel free to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite attribute or characteristic of Sun Helm is. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Take care.